entrepreneurs to tap into courage. Tonya.
Happy to be here, coming in from Southern California, and we are here 9 hours ahead from me, so I'm all jacked up with my sleep. I woke up, I think it was about 2 o'clock this morning, thinking, I couldn't go back to sleep now, I'm telling you. But the flight was really good to get here. It's my first time coming to Spain, and my husband and my son, my youngest son, came with me. And so we're really excited to be able to see the city. I haven't had a chance to do that yet, but we plan to do that before we leave on Monday. And I'm really excited to be here. And this is a topic that I enjoy talking about because I want to say my entire life I have been tapping into courage. And depending on the type of career or job that you've had, I bet you have been as well. And it's not something that we always say in terms of walking up to people. I'm being courageous right now, but maybe we had to in the type of roles that we had. So my message today about when the world says no, we're going to talk a little bit about that in the little bit of time that I have. And so global exchange, we've been doing that already. We've all come here from a lot of different places. And so I want us to continue that conversation. So we've talked about a little bit about our why, maybe in the work that we do. So I want to go a little bit deeper in that. And I want to ask everybody a question. And we are already used to talking to each other, so this is something that I feel like in the comfort of this room, I love the intimacy of it. I feel like we can go a little bit deeper in a smaller group. So what I want to do, this picture represents cutting through the red tape. And if you have been in business, either as a business owner, as an author and a speaker, cutting through the red tape, those things that come up. I want you to talk with somebody about one thing that you've been able to cut through the red tape when somebody has told you no. Anybody want to share? All right.
Thank you. My name is Leah Yagogo from Kenya. I hadn't actually finished, but I empower women and girls from my community. And I work in a community where the community doesn't believe in women speaking in front of men. So I never said die, because I kept on pushing and going until I was literally pushed away, or we call it a baraza, where men sit and discuss about their issues of the community. So I was literally pushed away because I was there trying to talk to the men because of the high level of gender-based violence. So I wanted to talk to the men who are the perpetrators and tell them that it is not right. Women also have the right. So I was literally pushed away, but that one never stopped me. I kept on going there until nowadays they call me.
Thank you for sharing. One more. Cut through that red tape.
I'll say. I used to be a university professor, and I inherited an administrative job where there was a huge budget deficit that limited what we could do, which was helping people figure out what they wanted to do for their career and find jobs. And I came up with a new way of funding to make that happen and erase the budget deficit and really get out there. I got to hire some people and really have a lot of fun in that job for a lot of years.
Yeah. A lot more in this room, and we'll talk about connections later, but hearing that someone graduated from Concordia University in Portland. I graduated from Concordia University in Irvine, so we have a connection, and we just met. University professor. I'm also a university professor aside with other things, and so just in this small room and a little bit of time, I already know that I have a connection with two people that I didn't know prior to coming to today. But cutting through red tape is not a one-time thing. We find that a lot of times we're put in places and positions where we do have to cut through a lot of things that aren't necessarily traditional for us, not just the women, but for the men in the room as well. It's not as easy for everyone as we may think. And so when we talk about clarity of vision, we talked a little bit about that earlier in knowing your why. When I think about vision, I think about you have to define it and you've got to have a purpose. So there's a reason why you got into business. There's a reason why maybe you have the job that you have. But the more you can clarify that and define it is going to help you as a leader. And so in all the years that I've been doing business, I'm constantly redefining the vision that I have for myself. And my mission is to get to that vision. So if everything aligned the way that you want it to in your professional life, so we're at a leadership conference, in your professional life, what would that look like? If everything aligned for your vision, what would that look like? I know for me, I would spend a lot of time at the beach, and I'm hearing about the beaches here in Spain. I'm looking forward to seeing them. Even though I'm in California and we have beaches there, I'm looking forward to seeing the beaches here. I would be at the beach and I would be writing, and then I would also do more speaking and more training. That's where I see myself. If everything aligned, that's what I would be doing full time. Talk to your neighbor and tell them what that vision would be. Take 1 minute. If everything aligned, everything, the way you wanted to in your business, what would that look like?
My name is Nadia, and what I was sharing with my team here is that when I think about a program that I completed last year relevant to executive leadership development, I had envisioned myself working in either state or federal government as an executive leader. Not so much for the power that comes with the title, but rather because I really wanted to be in a position to inspire and empower those around me so that they can excel and see the best versions of themselves. And that is still something that is very close to my heart. And, still pushing through those boundaries and the glass ceiling and going through red tapes and navigating the very difficult and challenging systems that the federal government in particular has.
All right, thank you.
I'm a positivity trainer, but I'm about to start a movement where I want to help people change their mental thoughts and rephrase their negative self-talk into positive ones. And if you do that, you see that you change other people around you, and that will be kind of a flood going over to other people as well. So it's going to change the whole world. It's
Thank you. One more.
So my vision is about my company, Sunrise Delight. Sunrise Delight because I want to bring the sunlight back to the people who are in the darkness. Delight to show them also the sweet part of life again. And Sunrise Delight is also a movement to bring this to families who are stuck in their own needs, but they can't communicate, so help them again to communicate. And also teach them things that they can help them to thrive in their lives. It's not about teaching them sewing or things like this, but going into communities and see what else can they learn to help that community. It might be computer skills. so that we teach them about computers and what to do with them, how to promote their own businesses, to be seen worldwide, but also help them in all the other things that they need in the community, and then bring life back and the sound rights back to the communities.
Thank you so much. So hold your vision. Keep hold of your vision. Stay aligned with values during tough times. Doesn't mean it's going to be easy all the time, but when you keep hold of your vision, it's going to help you to get where you're going. And think about the mission to get to your vision. And what that is everything that you have to do to get to the ultimate vision of where you want to go, what you want to do, how many people you want to impact, and what is the message. When people think about you or your company or your leadership, what do you want them to know about you? And we have to be able to navigate those obstacles. When I think about obstacles, there are always people, there are always things that come up to prevent you, or do what they can to try to prevent you from getting to your vision, from getting to your goals. When you learn how to navigate those things, you're reframing the failure. You don't have to look at it as it's all wrong. Nobody's ever going to do this. Who's going to believe in me? But how you reframe that failure, how you talk about the message that you tell yourself first. So, number one, be honest with yourself. Tell yourself the truth first. And then that's what you hold on to. Not the no, not the door closed of what someone else says. When you reframe that, it's not always about everything going right all the time, but it's taking those steps, one thing at a time. Finding purpose. It's not about perfection. It's about progress. You can look at a no and look at things that went right and look at things that went wrong. Only take the things that went well into your next day. If it didn't go right, you're reframing that. Doesn't mean that it was all bad. It just means part of it may have worked, part of it not. But how do we reframe that? You surround yourself with positivity. You start to talk to and build that network of people that believe in what you're doing. And you do that one person at a time. And set goals. We know about SMART goals. We know that we always have to go back to the drawing board to look at things differently, to reframe them. It may not just be one set. We may have to do a lot of different things depending on the venue that you're in, the audience that you have. So you still have your same message, but you're reframing it each time you step in front of someone else. It may not be exactly the same. Maybe something you had planned to do here today, you had to reframe it from what you were doing before. I know when we were preparing to come here, we probably had a different idea of what it was going to be, what it was going to look like, and we had to reframe even from that. It doesn't mean it's a failure. It means I reframed, I took the things that worked, and I set aside the things that didn't. And having a growth mindset, and I know I've heard that, and I've read some of the bios of other people that are here. Growth mindset is something that is going to serve us well as we continue on our journey. When I had to, and I mentioned forever, I think my message about tapping into courage has been a part of my life. So in high school, when I joined the military at 18, my reason for doing that was to be able to pay for college, and I wanted to move away, I wanted to see the world, and I was going to be a military police officer. And I got there and they told me no. Now, they said, women have to be at least 5'5". I'm 5'1", y'all. He was at 5'1". And so they said, don't even come over here to this line because it's not going to happen for you. So I thought, okay, I can either look at this no and walk away from this commitment. But my vision was that I wanted to see the world. I wanted to pay for college. I didn't want my parents to have to do that. I wanted to do it myself. So they showed me other jobs that I could do. And I became a truck driver. For 8 years, I was a truck driver. In college, my major was criminal justice. I applied to work for the FBI. I didn't get that job. But my first summer job was a firefighter. And so my book that I brought today has to do with being on the fire line and all the things that you do to navigate and be resilient. So tapping into that courage, that no still provided a lot of opportunity for me. Build resilience for long-term success. And what I mean is, my first jobs didn't come out, but I started at the bottom and worked my way up. I still worked in criminal justice, I still worked for the law enforcement, I still worked in corrections, a lot of things, but I had to start at the bottom. But also, just like here, you create support for yourself. Embrace the value of mentorship, find that community, tap into that, and understand that a no doesn't mean a no all the time. It may be not now, but a yes could come down the road. And say yes to vision and purpose. And I believe that everybody here does have that. Continue to redefine it and make it work for today of what you need for today. Thank you.